Hello, welcome to another episode of your program Infrastructure Weekly. I am your regular guide on the program, Ajibola Omuchikwa. On today's episode of the program, we'll be taking you around project sites in the power, works and housing sectors. We'll take you on the project in the power sector and the drive to improve on accessibility. We'll also be taking you to the Sango-Ota Abeokuta Road with its checkered history and also to the project site of the National Housing Program in Ogun State. Stay tuned, we'll be back after this break.
Coming together of opportunity, and this is what
infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
There is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QTD News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
Now to the program proper. We start off from the power sector, where the federal government has once again reiterated its commitment to the policy of eligible customers designed to ensure improved access to businesses and business centers and aid productivity. Come along.
In a major policy directive, the Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, had on May 15, 2017, declared 4 categories of eligible customers in the Nigerian electricity supply industry. The declaration, which permits electricity customers to buy power directly from the generation companies, is in line with the provisions of Section 27 of the Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005, whereby eligible customers are permitted to buy power from a licensee other than electricity distribution companies.
We deliver power at low prices and enhance service performance and new service offering for small consumer through competition. Again, competition. It sends a positive signal that the sector is evolving towards a full retail competition. I like to say it's actually providing another shock to the market where it's going to prompt performance of discos, prompt performance of Gencos, because these new businesses is going to force people to say, I can't afford not to be a part of this anymore.
All stakeholders in the generation, transmission and distribution chain were urged to bring into play new and stranded generation capacities which may be contracted between generation companies and eligible customers.
we are all now very familiar with the fact that there is more generation than consumers are able to take from the grid. The obvious solution to that is to find customers who are not being well served under this and similar regulations to gain access to that stranded power. Take it, pay for it, utilize it for your benefit.
It is expected that this stakeholders' workshop on regulation of the new policy directive will foster eligible customers' benefits, which include national economic development, rights of consumers to choose energy supplier, and create a more effective electricity market.
The federal government has disclosed its readiness to continue to bring succor to all business centers across the country. President Muhammadu Buhari disclosed this while commissioning the area market power project as part of Energizing Economies initiative. The president, who was in Aba as part of his campaign for re-election, said his development is without prejudice.
President Muhammadu Buhari has commissioned the 9.5 megawatts capacity off-grid gas-fueled power system built by a private consortium under the Energizing Economies initiative of the Rural Electrification Agency to supply electricity to 47,000 shops and small businesses operating at the Ariaria International Market in Aba, Abia State. The market, which supplies its renowned made-in-Aba products to countries along the West African coasts and Central Africa, had been challenged with the problem of inefficient electricity supply from the national grid, and this had often forced its occupants to rely on exorbitant alternative power sources. But speaking shortly before he commissioned the plant, which also has an extensive distribution network and metering systems for each shop, Buhari told the traders in the market that his government has considered the challenges with the stable electricity supply and its impact on productivity and decided to support the private operator Ariaria Market Energy Solutions to build and operate the plant and its distribution network. He described the commissioning of the power project as a fulfillment of a promise he made during his campaign visit in 2015.
This starts by thanking His Excellency, the Governor of Abia State, for his response and support for this project when the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing asked for his collaboration. Without such cooperation, our work here would not have been smooth. Today, with policies and programs such as this independent power plant, we have demonstrated that if the common good is our mutual objective, it can be achieved irrespective of party differences and constitutional limitations. Electricity has no political color.
For his part, the Abia State Governor, Okezie Ikpeazu, said the project will help in enhancing the capacity of the made-in-Nigeria products popularly made in Ariaria and other parts of Aba.
I'm happy to say that when this option came for power to be provided in this very, very beautiful way, we all rallied around and said we must do the needful to give Aba the option of which power source to choose. And of course, this is far better than whatever they have seen before now. And I'm happy to say that Aba is perhaps one of the few areas where we have had uninterrupted power for at least a few shops in this market for more than 2 years now, with opportunity to scale up and in fact energize the entire work. I'm also sure that many houses around here are applying to the area to be allowed to key into this beautiful initiative. I want to say today that capacity building used to be one of the problems and the solve because we sent 30 young ordinary shoemakers from this market to China to go and learn how to do shoes in an automated way.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, while speaking on the project, said it is in keeping with the promise by the federal government to empower the small and medium-scale enterprises and propel national economic development. He added that the commissioning will also ensure that employment opportunities are created for the youths with a knock-on effect on gross domestic product.
This project has delivered 15 meters of cable made in Nigeria by small businesses. It has 15 kilometers, of cable made in Nigeria by small businesses. It has delivered 780 concrete poles made in Nigeria by Nigerian businesses. It has provided 150 transformers. It has delivered a customer care center where anybody who is connected to this place has a problem can go, and there are young people working there. It has also supplied 4,000 meters, and we are still counting because there are 33,000 shops more to go.
Still staying with the power sector, The Transmission Company of Nigeria has delivered a brand new 300 MVA transformer to Kumbutso Transmission Station in Kano State. The company said the transformer is to replace one of the transformers in the station taken out for repairs. In a statement signed by the General Manager, Public Affairs, Ndidi Umba, the TCN says that the brand new 300 MVA power transformer energized on February 12, 2019 in its Alaoji transmission station has increased the station installed capacity from 450 MVA to 750 MVA, which makes it the biggest substation in the southern part of the country and has also made the station consistent with the redundancy requirement of N1. With this development, TCN has increased its capacity to supply a legal distribution company for onward supply to particularly Abia North, Ohafia, Arochukwu, Item, Abriba, Imo State, Okigwe, Arondi, Izuogu, and part of Ebonyi and River States. She further states that the following projects under construction will also benefit from the newly energized 300 MVA transformer and 4 new 132 kVA substations at Okigwe, Imo State, Mbalano, Ohafia, and Arochukwu, Abia State, which are awaiting completion. Transmission Company of Nigeria reiterates its resolve to consistently contribute its quota in the power supply value chain by persistently upgrading and investing in the nation's grid network in line with its carefully researched and documented transmission rehabilitation and expansion program, while pledging to continue to work towards building a national grid that is comparable to any in the world. And lastly, in the power sector, the federal government has said there is no truth in the rumor making the rounds about the alleged plan to stop payment of shortfalls by the federal government to power generating companies as part of its program Payment Assurance Guarantee to help ease the burden of power generating companies and to ensure they are able to fulfill their obligations to gas suppliers and recoup costs. The federal government said no such plans exist and that the 701 billion naira borrowed by the Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trading Company (NBET) is still being drawn by the generating companies. Join us after this break for more on the program. Stay tuned.
We are going to work to ensure that
If you're just joining us, the program is still Infrastructure Weekly. You can get in touch with us for more comments, inquiries, and feedback on Twitter, Infra_Weekly, and on Facebook, Infrastructure Weekly. We now move to the road sector, where works has commenced fully on the Section 2 of the Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Road. The road, which is a 57-kilometer stretch from the toll gate in Lagos to Abeokuta, according to the project manager, is designed with the load it is expected to carry in mind.
The Lagos-Sango-Ota-Abeokuta Road has a checkered history, with the road having undergone several supposed construction and reconstruction since 1999 at the advent of the nation's current democratic experience. The road on initial construction was an 81 kilometers road which connects the capital city of Ogun State to Ikeja, the capital city of Lagos State, and is being rehabilitated by the Muhammadu Buhari administration after many false starts in the past. For many users of the road over the past 20 years, it's been stories of horror and sorrows occasioned by the accident and wasted man-hours on the road due to its bad state. From the Obasanjo administration to the Yaradua and then to Goodluck Jonathan administration, the story of the road did not change and was even a source of fisticuffs between a former Speaker of the House of Representatives and the sitting governor of Ogun State at the time. The federal government under Buhari administration has since re-awarded the road and has broken it into two sections, with Section 1 from Oshodi to the toll gate before Ota, while Section 2 is between the toll gate up to its end in Abeokuta, though work is currently not on in the first section. The second section is undergoing massive construction, and the plan, according to the project manager from the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Lasisi Adekunle, is to recover the failed section first.
This project was awarded last year. To be precise, the contractor resumed on site on 11th of May 2018, and since then the contractor has been working. Since last year to date, the contractor, they have recovered all the major damage area that is totally bad. Yes, after we finish this stretch of 2 kilometers, we will open this Lagos band to traffic, and the contractor will move to the Abeokuta band. They will do the similar work, exactly what they did here now. They will do it at the other band too.
He ordered that the works will progress from there and encompass all other parts of the project. He urged road users to be patient as the project will take time, but their patience and support will be invaluable with the ministry desirous of delivering a world-class project.
We have a stretch of 56 kilometers from Ota flyover up to Abeokuta end of the project. It's exactly 56.3 kilometers. Out of that 56.3 kilometers, we have a lot of areas that are not motorable at all. The contractor has bring up a program of works whereby all the bad section of the road will be firstly treated before we move to all areas where we are going to do milling. After milling, we are going to do overlay. We are going to repair the surface dress, the shoulders, the damaged shoulders. We are going to recover it. We are going to pave it.
He also gave a brief of what the project will look like. He added that the design has taken into consideration the load carrying capacity of the road as opposed to when it was originally constructed.
And now you can see now that the contractor, after the construction of the line drain there, they have commenced the scarification of existing carriageway. Then when they remove the existing carriageway, they will now started to build up the road from the sub base. They've started from the sub base now. As you can see, they've started dropping laterite. They are spreading it, they are grading it, they are rolling it. It's not going to be from here to Abeokuta, but all the township area where the volume of runoff is much. That is exactly where we are going to have drainage work. But out of the 56 kilometers, like 50% or 65% of the work is going to have drainage.
Thanks for being there. You can get in touch with us on any of the social media handles showing on your screen. And still staying with the road sector, works will soon commence on the rehabilitation of the superstructure of the Third Mainland Bridge. Comptroller of Works in Lagos, Adedamola Kuti, disclosed this while speaking to Infrastructure Weekly in Lagos. He said the bridge, during the course of the rehabilitation, will not be completely shut down to traffic.
We inspected the Third Mainland Bridge and we saw what was happening there. The surfacing work, the lane towards Adeniji Adele has been completed. We are now on the mainland bound lane. They asked for the expansion joint and the underground piles repairs. That one is starting soon. The materials are already on their way. I'm sure in the next 4 weeks or thereabout, serious work will start. As soon as the work starts, whatever it demands, but it's not going to be a total closure like we have promised. It's going to be partial closure on sections we are working at.
We'll be right back after this break as we hit the home stretch. Stay tuned.
Dear lottery operator, you've done a remarkable job so far getting into a business that has been highly criticized for many years. You've done well to uphold your credibility and boost confidence in the business. Kudos to you. This is just to remind you of the rules of the game as prescribed by the National Lottery Regulatory Commission. Gaming is not for persons under 18. Underage gaming is prohibited. Report illegal operators to the Commission and also always remember the regulatory job of the Commission. Whatever your category, lotteries, sport betting, promos, scratch cards, games, it is the duty of the Commission to protect lottery players and the operators as well as promote transparency and accountability. Licensees are also expected to play their part, which includes remittances to the National Lottery Trust Fund. For more information, please go to natlotteredcom.gov.ng. The National Lottery Regulatory Commission. Lottery, the right way.
The National Housing Program in 34 states of the Federation, launched by the Buhari administration, is approaching the final lap at most of its sites, with the expected delivery of about 3,000 housing units across the Federation. Infrastructure Weekly visited the Ogun State site, and the project manager, Ganiu Ushodainde, gave assurances that the buildings will be completely ready within 3 months, though some of the buildings are already set for occupation.
The Ogun State site of the National Housing Program, like in 33 other states of the Federation, is a part of the National Housing Program of the Buhari administration, designed as a pilot scheme. The site, according to the project manager Ganiu Ushodainde, will be ready within 3 months. While conducting the crew of Infrastructure Weekly round the project site, he gave a status update of where the project is now.
Ogun State happens to be one out of 34 states in the Federation where the scheme is replicated. So, but for Ogun State here, we have a composition of 2-bedroom of 28 units. Then we have 3-bedroom of 16 units and the condominium of 24 units of various house types: 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. Well, as you can see, the state of the work now, we commenced work 2017. Since then, the percentage of completion is we're about 75% for now.
He added that an appreciable progress has been made, with some of the buildings ready for occupation, while most of the associated infrastructure are already ongoing, with the water treatment plant completed.
Two of the contractors are at about 40% completion, and the last contractor, his job is at 70% completion. We only have one contractor 100% completed for a 3-bedroom. Is in progress. Is in progress. For the electrification, they've done about 90% completion. 90% completion. Then the road, we're at about 60% completion for the road. Then water and reticulation, we're about 60% to completion.
He, however, gave an assurance on the delivery of the project and its quality.
I think at various stages, because earlier we've done, there has been so far, I think there is a collation of reports we've done, and we actually have artisans. The artisans, the skilled laborers, particularly the skilled laborers, we've had a record of about 3,800 skilled laborers, whom has passed through this scheme. And for the casual laborers, we've had over 4,800 from our records.
For decades, the issue of maintenance of public utilities and infrastructure has been one Nigeria has always berated successive administration, and has led to many describe Nigeria as part of a nation without a maintenance culture. With this in mind, the federal government under the Buhari administration has launched a public infrastructure maintenance framework to address the issue. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said the new initiative will provide employment opportunities for more Nigerians.
This is the new conference hall of the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, well equipped to cut costs and avoid wastage of money on event centers for its activities. The countless number of damaged infrastructure facilities in public buildings reveal a poor maintenance culture. Gathered here are stakeholders of government agencies, representatives of the National Assembly, construction industry, and directors in the ministry to get first-hand the presentation of the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing Maintenance Framework created under this administration to keep infrastructure alive in the country.
The policy trust proclaims that all public buildings will be maintained in a manner to preserve its value and to ensure that it serves the purpose for which it was built.
The Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the policy will be in line with the Executive Order 5, while stating that maintenance is not just an act, it is also an economy.
It is also meant to empower the middle class, those who are in small and medium-scale enterprises, manufacturers of cottage industry-produced equipment, those who make paints, who make nails, who make electrical fittings, wiring, and all of that, and generally drive the growth of Nigeria's economy. So, as we sit down here today, we're turning a new curve. We're opening a new chapter of economic prosperity.
Stakeholders, including the head of service of the Federation, laud the policy, while stating that it is a giant step in the right direction.
With this clear and comprehensive sustainable maintenance policy, there is bound to be a lasting improvement in our maintenance culture, as it will open a new chapter in the overall maintenance of public assets and facilities.
I will be collaborating with you to define the level at which a work is satisfied under maintenance and where it moves into a proper work, so that will be able to guide us during our budgetary process.
This is going to save us a lot of resources, it's going to create a lot of jobs, and I want to join my colleague by saying that any responsible and responsive legislature will support this, and I'm assuring you, on behalf of the Committee on Works, we will support it in every way we need to.
The Federal Executive Council had on the 9th of January approved the National Public Building Maintenance Policy to ensure maintenance of public infrastructure and create economic benefits for Nigerians, especially the unemployed.
And that's it on this week's edition of the program. Join us again next week for another interesting episode of the program. Until then, go out and exercise your civic duties in the coming elections. Also, continue to support the infrastructure development agenda of Buhari administration and protect public utilities. I am your regular anchor, Ajibola Omuchekwa. Bye for now.
We are going to work to ensure that